Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of questions on how I edit my Instagram pictures. Everyone's like, Bella, your photo quality, Bella, you're editing. Oh, that must take so long. That's where you're wrong. It's really not that hard. Usually I only use 1 to 2 apps and they're super easy, and I'm pretty sure you probably have already seen them before, but I'm going to show you a few little tips and tricks that I do for my Instagram. I do try to keep my Instagram photos with kind of like a, a little theme so they all flow together. Who doesn't do that nowadays? But if you have any other questions, be sure to leave them in the down bar below and I'm happy to answer them. But without further ado, this is how I edit my Instagram pictures. I probably need my phone before I do that. One sec. Okay, so I have a photography folder on my phone. There's a few pages here of stuff, but honestly the only apps I really use is VSCO and Facetune. I'll occasionally use Afterlight if I really need it, depending how the photo quality is, but usually I only use VSCO. So you go in here and you can just, and there's an add button, so you just click it and you can add what photo you want to edit. Let's edit this photo of myself in LA. Okay, so now it's here in your library. You're gonna click it, and then at the bottom there's like a little module thing. It's the second one, and you're just gonna click that and it comes up like this. It's unedited, but now there's little filters that you can choose from at the bottom. I do have some of the filters that you have to purchase and some that like you have to download, but it also comes with some filters in here. But the ones that I've been using lately is C3, which is this one. It turns out a little bit brighter and a little bit more contrasted, as well as a little bit more tinted. So usually my Instagram is not this tinted, so if you tap the filter it comes up like this where you can edit how heavy the filter is on your photo. So I usually turn it down to probably like 3/4 of a way, like so. Ta-da! Can you see the difference? See how it's like a little more green than usual? And then if you swipe up, it has options for you to edit the photo a little bit more. And so I'm going to be clicking the second module again right here, and it comes up with these options where you can change the brightness, the contrast, the sharpen, the size of the photo, even if you want to go as far as changing the tint, if there's a certain tint color that you like. But usually on here I just mess with the brightness a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to darken it a real little smidge, so it's at -0.5 right now. And then I'm also going to bump up the contrast to about 1.5, and then I'm also going to go to the sharpness, which is the little triangle, and bump that up just a little tiny smidge, so it's at 1.2. So I'm gonna do this photo of me in the snow. So what I'm gonna do is go to my filter. I try to use the same one since I want my Instagram to match, so it's C3. Occasionally, depending how the photo lighting is, I like to use HB2, which stands for Hypebeast 2. I believe it's a pack, and it kind of darkens it, and then I just kind of lighten it. See how it's like kind of contrasted still? I like that one, but for the sake of matching my Instagram, I'm gonna use C3. So I'm gonna bump it down a little bit like I do. Since this one's not as colorful as the past photo, I'm gonna do it to about a 9 and save it, but I am gonna bump the contrast up just a smidgies. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna save this to my camera roll, and then I'm going to go to Facetune. So I'm gonna open my photo, and here it is. So there it is on Facetune. So usually I know there's been some like bad reputation of using Facetune because people like shrink their waists and whatever they want to do. But honestly, there's some great things that you can do on Facetune. They have whitening settings, so if you want to whiten your teeth a little bit, or if I know some people have their background entirely white, you can do that. It also has a smooth, so if you have just a tiny little blemish, it doesn't hurt to do that if it's gonna bug you. Details, which is what I'm going to use on this, it makes things stand out a little bit more, which I like. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to details, which is the triangle at the bottom. What you can do is you can actually zoom in on your photo on here. So I'm going to zoom in to the snow. Look at my nose, oh my god. But I'm going to sharpen parts of the snow like this. For me, I don't know if it's just me that I'm really picky about this kind of stuff. So now you can see kind of a difference of the snow being a little bit more sharpened. But that's pretty much it, and that's how I edit my Instagram pictures. So that is pretty much how I edit my Instagram pictures. It's really not that hard, and it usually only takes me like a few minutes, and especially if I'm just using Visco, it's piece of cake. But if you guys have any other questions on how I edit my photos, be sure to leave me a comment in the down bar below, or you can contact me on any of my social media, which is also in the down bar. But yeah, I pretty much only use Visco, which is honestly a great app, especially if you're into photography and stuff. I love messing with the different filters on there and everything, so it's a nice app to have. It's probably one of my most used apps. But thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!